Let's now get the thoughts of Bert Fenix of the Management Association of the Philippines. Welcome to the final word, sir.
Yes.
So glad.
Thank you for having me.
So glad you could join us. So we just heard from that report, of course, the dismal showing of our students in the assessment. So your thoughts on the country's performance at the 2022 PISA?
Well, as I said, I really would not like to be talking about the crisis of education in the Philippines. I prefer to think about or to work on what we can do to improve it. No? So this is, I was part of the group that finished this paper on reforming our education and transforming our future.
Okay, we will delve into that in just a little bit, but you are of the agreement that we are currently in an education crisis.
Yes, definitely, and also even relating to the time that I was in grade school and today, I think we had a better education system then.
So what do you think are the main factors that really contributed to our educational system's poor international standing?
Well, we have the problem with this language. When we're supposed to be the Filipinos are supposed to be good in English, but I don't think it's that good anymore.
So you're talking about the mother tongue?
The mother tongue.
Okay.
I'm myself personally, I'm against that, no, because early childhood, that easily they learn language.
That's right.
When they're 1 year old, when you're starting to speak, 2 years old, 3 years old. And now they start grade 1 or kindergarten with their mother tongue, and they don't learn English yet. No?
So further on.
So, well, the PISA exams, for example, are taken when they are grade 4, grade 3, and that's only the time they're studying English. No? So I think that's part of the reason why we do poorly, because the tests are in English and
they're just starting to learn in that language. Yes. Okay, but a lot of the people are of the opinion as well that the pandemic played a role in this whole thing.
No, that happened in the entire world. There was learning loss during the pandemic years, and but in the Philippines we don't have the facilities for doing online teaching. We tried to do that because that was the only way to go. But, well, that's another problem that we have, connectivity. And in fact, we make a case in this paper that we should the government and the private sector should make all the efforts that there's connectivity all over our islands. And in fact, that it is really a common good and therefore should be available for free.
Aside from that suggestion on connectivity, what else should the current administration do to really address the educational crisis, as you mentioned? And we already have several laws in place, right? Do you feel like there is the political will to be able to push for it?
No, there has been a lot of stress on. Well, our budget, for example, education is supposed to get the #1 share. Now, the other question would be, how is it being spent? And now with advances in technology and with automation and with artificial intelligence, it's changing the world of work. Now, education and training is supposed to prepare our human resources for the world of work, so that they can be self-sustaining, they can be responsible citizens of our country. But now we're still using old textbooks and we're teaching the same thing. And but now you have to talk about connectivity, or you have to talk about digitalization, you have to talk about AI, and we have to do research and development that we can bring technology into the classroom.
Do you think the matatag curriculum that the DepEd is implementing now will be able to address?
I really haven't seen it, to be honest.
Okay.
To be honest with you, because I've been asked to join some of the discussion groups about this, but then I think it really does not address this matter of technology.
Technology.
You know, but still, with technology, it's still important. The teacher is still very important. And, but then the teacher also has to adapt to the new technologies and learn how to teach with the new fangled technology.
Effectively.
Right.
That's right. But, you know, the COVID-19 pandemic, as you mentioned earlier, also boosted popularity of social media and other online technologies. Do you feel like this has been a blessing or more of a curse for our students?
Well, it's uneven. You know? Of course, the richer families could afford the computers and the connectivity, so they were able to take advantage of that. But the poorer families, they didn't have any such access. And in other words, the disparity became even bigger. You know? And of course, there was learning loss even in the higher income levels, but there was much bigger learning loss in the lower income levels.
So, you know, in the future, the students of today will become the employees of tomorrow, as you mentioned, no? How important is it, or what can the private sector do to invest in Philippine education?
What we're trying to do at the MAP is to try to involve all our enterprises and our business people in their own enterprises, that they should be doing education and training. You know? It's really only the big companies that have really a training director and that they have regular training courses for their people. But the majority of our enterprises are small and medium and micro. And they say it's 96% of all enterprises. Practically none of them have any training. You know? So they don't have training programs, etc. So what we're working on is that we will motivate and incentivize and be able to get our SMEs to think about training their people. Because really, after formal education, still a large part of learning takes place in the workplace.
In the workplace.
And if you don't keep up with learning, with lifelong learning, you're gonna be left behind.
That's right. But
And
this
it's
is
even worse if you're already left behind at the start.
But these efforts are already for those that have graduated and are entering the workforce. What can we do, you know, from the business side to partner, maybe to step in a little bit earlier? Are there plans for maybe doing that?
Well, that is another initiative that we have, that we should have some kind of enterprise-based training. This is what I said, that we have to motivate and we have to get our enterprises to think about training students, training out-of-school youth. But then this necessitates that we design the training programs, you know, and do it properly. So,
all right.
This is what we're trying to do, that we set up an education and training system that is privately led and, of course, in partnership with government.
All right. So you mentioned earlier that the learning, it was affected really all over the world because of the pandemic. But it seems like other countries were not as affected as we were. So what best practices can we adapt from other countries to strengthen our system?
Well, one thing that we've seen is in some countries like Denmark, you know, they're really the advanced nations with regards to education. They put a lot of money into tutoring, and this has worked very well. So we're also trying to do that here in the Philippines, where we want our college students to tutor the grade school and high school students.
It's like a mentorship program.
So this will be, and hopefully we would like government to recognize that this tutoring that these college students do will qualify for there is some kind of ROTC, etc.
credits.
You know,
Credits.
we'll credit them for that. No?
Yes.
So it will give them incentive to do tutoring. At the same time, if you tutor, you also learn.
That's right.
So it works both ways. Yeah.
Well, thank you for your insights, Bert Fenix of the Management Association of the Philippines.